How you doing? Good? Been here all day? My name's Simon Marlin. I'm an international DJ, record producer, and I've been doing that for quite a long time. I'm 48 years of age, and I have suffered with vitiligo since I was about 30, and I'm probably about 50% of my body has changed. I'm not going to lie, I've been up till 5 o'clock this morning. I jumped on a train in Newcastle and came straight down here at 10 o'clock this morning, got here at 2, so I'm quite tired. So I'm not a very good public speaker, although I play to thousands of people every week, so bear with me. So the guys at the Society asked me to kind of just come down and have a chat with you all, really, and basically give you some indication of someone who's lived with vitiligo and continues to just carry on and do what they need to do in life. I'm not going to lie and say it was all a breeze and it didn't bother me at some stage, because it completely has, but I never felt the need to cover it up. It started with 3 small spots on the back of my right hand, and is what it is today. Now, I have a lot of photos taken every weekend, and there was a stage, it got to a point when I kind of started to look at photos that were being taken, and I kind of thought, how do I feel about this? You know, is it starting to make me feel a bit awkward? How do other people look at me? How do they, you know, what do they think it is? Do they know what it is? And I got to the point where I just thought, you know what? I am who I am. And from that point on, I kind of just wore it as a badge of honor, is the honest answer. So there are many photos of me on the internet, and all of them, you know, you can see the gradual progression over the years of how my vitiligo has developed. I was married for quite a few years. I penned a song about that woman, and I'm not the first person to have a divorce and move on about a woman who I've written a song about. But interestingly enough, when I got back into being the singles market for a while, you know, when you're married for 16 years and you start having vitiligo and you kind of, everything's okay, you know, it doesn't get into your brain so much. But when you get into the singles market and you kind of think, God, I've got to get out there again and I've got to start dating and everything else, you start to look at yourself a slightly different way again. So that was a moment for me. But what I realized is girls find it quite interesting. They really do. You know, it's not something that everyone's ever turned around to me and gone, you're a freak, or, you know, you look weird, or what is that? You know, girls actually found it quite interesting. So guys, don't worry about it too much, yeah? And then I met my now partner, Charlie, and we had a baby 6 months ago. And I'm over the moon about that. I am wondering, is it, you know, no one else in my family has vitiligo, but I am kind of wondering, is this something that's gonna affect him? And I don't profess to know much about it medically, to be honest. You know, I know probably as much as you guys do, and you know, it's not something that I worry about on a day-to-day basis, but for him now I slightly worry and wonder, is this something that he's going to take on? You know, we'll see. But I guess the other point I wanted to make is for years I just go on the internet and just kind of have a little update. Oh, what's going on with vitiligo? Are there any things move forward? Is there any new news? You know, and then I saw the Vitiligo Society popped up. And this is the first time that I've been in a room with this many people that understand, which is pretty cool, you know? I've had people come up to me at shows and go, and I go, what? And then they'll pull up their sleeve and they'll show me. And that's really cool. You know, it's like there's this weird connection that I've had with people at my own shows. And, you know, it's a really cool thing. And weirdly, by me just getting on and being up there and being not afraid, actually, is essentially what I'm trying to say here, is not to be afraid of anything, or how people look at you, how people see you, and just generally feel about you, because at the end of the day, it's how you feel about yourself that's what really matters. I'm not scared of what anybody thinks about the way I look, and neither should you be, really. So I guess in some small way, I'm just trying to kind of say, you know, it shouldn't ever hold you back. You know, it's never held me back. You know, I've had many photo shoots over the years, and I've never, that's a lie actually, once I did a touch-up. Once I did it, and I actually felt a little bit of a cheat, if I'm totally honest. And from that point on, I never did again. So, you know, any of the younger guys here, you know, ever worried about getting in front of a camera or in media, or, you know, getting on stage or anything like that, just never ever worry about it. Just be yourself, and I think people will love you for it. I haven't really got much else more to say. I just wondered if anyone else had any questions. I noticed questions have been asked for people, but no one's actually had a question. Some of you must have a question. There must be some questions in this audience. Anybody? Go on then.
So you said you were about 30 when you first noticed?
Yes. Yep.
How did you feel in the early part? How long did it take you to recognise the first spot to then discover it?
I'd say, it's been quite a while now, I'm 48. It was kind of, I'd say within 6 months, I started to notice that it was getting bigger. And, you know, as anyone would, you would kind of start to think, okay. And someone else pointed out to me, actually a guy called Felix Howard. Anybody know Felix Howard? He was the guy in the Open Your Heart, he was a boy, 13-year-old boy in the Open Your Heart Madonna video. You know, that really, really good looking boy? Anybody remember it? No? Yep, good. He was in the Madonna video, and we were at a place together, and he said, "Oh, you've got vitiligo." And I said, "How do you know?" He says, "Because I'm covered in it." He has gone on to be one of the most important men in the music business. He is a songwriter, sorry, not a singer-songwriter. He's a songwriter, and he's a record company executive. And he showed me some photos of his progression as well. And he has gone on to be a massively, hugely influential person in the music business. But anyway, he told me, "You got vitiligo." And then, obviously, from that point on, I looked into what it was. So, and I'd say I'm now, I think I'm about 60%, 50 to 60% covered. Anybody else?
Do your shows abroad? I mean, most of the time it's in the sun, all right? So you cover up a lot, and do you find problems with that?
Yeah, I've burnt myself before, and I do use Factor 50. I was in Australia 2 weeks ago, and I was sat on Tamarama Beach, literally lathered up. But I'm obviously tried to be sensible with it. I try not to, you know, go anywhere that hasn't got a cabana, or hasn't got a sunshade, or hasn't got somewhere that I can't get out of the sun if I need to. I try not to have a fear of it, but at the same time, I'm obviously sensible with it. But yes, you know, it's Factor 50.
I was just wondering if you ever encounter, you are in famous circles, has anyone of note ever pointed out your vitiligo to you? And what was that experience?
George Michael asked me how I dealt with it, and you know, did it bother me when I was performing and stuff. Yeah, he's got a friend who's also got vitiligo as well, and it's becoming more common. There's more. I meet more and more people all the time that you know ever come up to me and say, you know, nudge nudge, wink wink, you know. Like, okay, you got vitiligo, yeah? Okay, cool. You can talk about it. It's fine. It's okay. But yeah, so George is one, probably the most notable one. Yeah. Yes.
Have you ever explored the idea of treatment?
No, no. I'm really happy with it. I know, listen, if we all know, if there was something that came along and was like, this will treat this, this will do this, we know this for, you know, it's been tested, it's been everything. Of course, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not obsessed by it. I'm really happy with who I am. Sorry, this light's so bright, I can barely see. I'm an only child, so I don't have any siblings, but my mum obviously was a little bit, you know, is this my fault? Or, you know, there was that kind of motherly instinct of, you know, have I genetically done something wrong here? Or, you know, but on the whole, no, I haven't got a very big family, so I imagine your family is much bigger than mine, so I can see why you would be protective as well. So, yeah. Anybody else? Great. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you.